Today on Hopped Up, we're going to review Snake Handler by Good People Brewing out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome to Hopped Up, where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion of the beer we are drinking. I'm Ben, there's Jay, and there is Andy still in his attic. Jay, what are we drinking today?
So today, fellas, we're going to go to Birmingham, Alabama, and look at the Snake Handler from Good People Brewing. It comes in at 10.0% and 100 IBUs. So this is going to be a fun one for you, Ben. It is a double India Pale Ale. So
here comes the bias review.
Yes. Should I just go ahead and write that? I've never had it. Should I just go ahead and write it now?
Oh, it's going to be a fun one for you. So no, I can give you guys a little bit of history and background too on some of this if you want. But if you want to go ahead and we can start drinking, crack it, and I'll talk as we enjoy, and you can savor the wonderful hops, because I think it's got 5 different hops in here.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I read. 5 types.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am excited to try it because I have never had it. So
yeah. So Good People out of Birmingham. They started their brewery and had the first keg July 4th, 2008. So they've been around, I guess about 14 years or so. They all credit the Free the Hops Association here in Alabama. Prior to 2009, Alabama could only have beer less than 6% legally. So on this can, I don't know if you can read it closely, but it says legally brewed since 2008. So that's when they started brewing it for the 2009 passing of the bill, where they could distribute this since it was greater than 6%. So little fun factoid there. They are Alabama's largest brewery now. They bought Avondale Brewing in 2017, and they've just done a collaboration with Straight to Ale Brewing out of Huntsville, where they're going to have a collaboration tap room on Gunnersville Lake over in Gunnersville at a place called City Harbor that's right on the water.
Nice.
So,
Well, let's jump in.
Yeah.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Good.
It's kind of hefty.
Yeah, it's hoppy for sure.
Yeah, it'll open up those taste buds. I hope you didn't have a big dinner too.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike the other double IPAs, this tastes heavier than some of the other ones we've had. It feels heavy.
Well, some of the others, like, you have Bell's, Hop Slam, and others like that, they do things to cut that bitterness. Like Hop Slam, they'll add honey, or some of the others like we've had, they add lactose and cut things down so you don't have that hop just slam you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're one of their most popular beers is one called El Gordo, and it's a seasonal release. They almost have a cult following for it that comes out every December. I've never had it and always wanted to try it, but it's a hard one to find. And they're only distributed. That's one thing. I know you guys can get certain beers over in Mississippi where you are, but they don't distribute Good People to Mississippi. It goes to Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and parts of the Florida Panhandle. So it's more of a regional beer. but since they've grown, they did, I think in 2019, 20, 21, they were over 25,000 barrels. So they're classified as a regional brewer.
Yeah. Oh, Mississippi had the same problem with the limitation on alcohol percent in their beer. I think we were at 5% for the longest time. And then we had the Raise Your Pints Mississippi organization that petitioned and lobbied and got it changed. And at that time, and I can't remember what year, it went to 2000, or it went to 10%.
Yeah. So I think ours is higher than that now.
Yeah.
But
Ours
free
is
the
increased.
hops. I remember back in the early 2000s, you would see stickers for free the hops all across the state. It was funny. I know several people that were part of that organization, and they have a couple of brew fests here in the state of Alabama that are sponsored by Free the Hops, and a lot of those are the volunteers who come out. But
did anything change about Avondale after they bought it, or is it still kind of the same setup?
It's still the same setup. You know, they're in that certain area of town, and that's one of the reasons that I think they bought them. And they've left, as far as I've seen, they've kind of left their beer alone. I'm surprised I haven't seen some of their beer distributed under undercarrying. I mean, I've seen that with Straight to Ale's done the same type of thing in Huntsville. They're now the second largest brewer in the state, and they bought Druid City and Salty Nut Brewery. And when they bought both of those, they switched to brewing the beer in their facilities, which I think is probably the same as Good People. They just put them, can them with their labels. I think you guys can see Druid City over in your area, and maybe even some Salty Nut if you're seeing distributed over there. So.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Druid City. I've seen it in Alabama the times I've been over there. But
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah.
I think I saw you'd had it once or twice. It's they call it DC DCBC or something like that. DC Druid City Brew Company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
just as a kind of side note here, Jay and I recently got to hang out for an evening, and it was in Alabama, and so got to try some Good People beer, some Avondale, and some other breweries. So that was a fun evening just to catch up and not see you, just solely on the little square here.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
I regret we didn't do a little episode or two, or mini episode, but we can always do another one. And
just an excuse to get together.
Absolutely.
So
we need to add Andy and maybe do a brewery tour or three.
I never leave the attic, so I'll just put a tap room up here.
So the question I had looking at the can, and you kind of touched on this, legally brewed since 2008. Do we know if they illegally brewed it prior to that?
Well,
you have any idea?
There's two owners. I can't say one way or the other. I do know their first beer came off the line for Good People. They tapped their first keg July 4th, 2008. So, and I think that was a brown ale. Gotcha. This one, from all accounts that I had, I think the bill went into effect in 2009, where you could go higher than 10%, but it was like early 2009, maybe January or February. So they had been brewing it in 2008 to release it right when the bill passed.
Gotcha.
So they have some really good beers. They're known for their standard IPA, just comes in a can that says IPA. They have another one called Muchacho that a lot of people like, kind of a Mexican lager. They have a Hazy Snake, which is another version. Then El Gordo, like I said, is one of their more coveted beers.
I saw where the IPA one was the #1 craft beer sold in Alabama.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that plays out over time. Given that the city of Birmingham just got surpassed by the city of Huntsville in size. So the city of
What?
Huntsville is now the largest city in the state of Alabama.
What? That's
Interesting.
pretty crazy. I didn't
Yeah,
realize it was
so-
that big.
Yep. It's growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, and they rival each other when it comes to breweries. I think Birmingham has 6, 7, 8, somewhere on that order. Huntsville's probably on the same level,
Shoot,
if
we
not
definitely
more.
need to do a road trip.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
All
right,
right. Are we
so-
ready to make the rounds here and
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about this a little bit?
Yeah. This is what you got.
It's on you,
What
man.
you
I
got?
think
What you got? So I think that, if you've watched any of our videos before where we've reviewed an IPA, you know that IPAs are not my favorite. I don't hate them, but they're, not, again, what I reach for first. I think that what I taste here is obviously the multiple hops, which is usually, again, not something I'm a big fan of either. But it doesn't hit me in the face the way that, maybe some others have. I mean, it definitely is there. I think the part that gets me is just the bitter aftertaste and how long it stays in my mouth. It does not go away. Again, this is a beer for me personally, with my bias review that I am okay not having again. Honestly, again, just because of that.
Okay, not having again.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm somewhere and somebody hands it to me and that's my option, I'm going to drink it. But it's not
Hello, goodbye.
Exactly. So with all of that said, kind of long-winded there, but with all of that said, I think it's probably a 5 for me.
Yeah. This is my first time having it, and I do like IPAs, but I was a little hesitant about the 100 IBUs. But then I had to remind myself, okay, IBU does not equal bitterness in taste, and I think they did a good job because I was expecting it to be even more bitter than it was. Still, I think they did a good job. There was 5 hops, but 2 malts that they blended it with, or that they brewed it with, and I think it did a good job. But the first couple sips were a little strong. It still tastes heavy, but after I've had almost 2/3 of it, I like it better. So originally I was thinking maybe a 7, but I think the more I've sipped on it, I'm going to say a 7.5. I like it.
Yeah, I'm partial. It's from my home state, and grown up around and with it. I tell you, I honestly wish you guys could try it on draft because it's even better that way. In the can, it can age, and it's good, but I'd have to give it an 8 because me, I'm partial to the IPAs, and this one I do have a special love for. So that's kind of where I sit.
All right, that gives us a 6.8 for the Snake Handler from Good People Brewing Company, double IPA. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Let us know what we got right, got wrong here, what your thoughts are in the comments. If you've had Snake Handler, if you have a beer that you think we should review, leave us a comment on that and we will try to find it. We're making no promises based from a region standpoint, but let us know if you think there's something we should take a look at, and we'll do our best to get our hands on it.
Or you can always ship it.
Yeah, ship it to us. I mean,
comment, ship.
Yeah, we will give you Andy and the Addict's home address. So if you are willing to,
I'm kind of the middleman between y'all. You are technically.
Exactly. So, but thank you guys for checking us out. Please like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell if you would like to see more of our videos. And we will catch you guys next time. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.